Sorry.
Good afternoon, folks. Where are we going to?
The Savoy.
We're going to the Savoy Hotel on the promenade.
Savoy, smash it. Thank you.
Thank you.
CCabs.
It is indeed, yeah. Is that, I'm a mistaken, is that you, Anne?
That is indeed Anne. Yes.
I'll have to look into my memoirs when I write my book. Quite a few famous in here over the years.
I bet you have, yeah. Who've you had in?
Oh, quite a few politicians through the party conferences. Quite a few actors with the theatre.
Yeah.
Quite a few dancers with the dance.
Because Strictly comes up here every year.
Yeah, Strictly, yeah. Well, Blackpool used to produce a lot of stars, didn't it?
It did, in fact, it did indeed, yeah.
Why do you think that stopped?
It's just how the town's been going. Well, as you know, it's always on the news for being an area economically and socially deprived. And at the minute, the feeling in the taxi trade is getting to boiling point. You know, throughout the years we've done what the council had wanted to do. We've tried to improve the standard of the cars. We've gone on NVQs for customer training.
Yep.
We've done safeguarding courses. We've done Alzheimer and dementia courses to make us aware. And
Is that not a good thing, though?
yeah, oh yeah, brilliant, yeah, good, yeah. But at the minute, we've got a massive influx of out-of-town cars. All our drivers are local, live in Blackpool, they earn the money in Blackpool and spend the money in Blackpool. And at the moment, we've got all these out-of-town cars coming, taking our work, and we're getting absolutely nothing from the police or the local flag licences. We've sent them dozens and dozens of videos and clips. We go to the police with a photograph of a taxi plate from a different borough that's 3-4 months out of date. The police say, oh, it's nothing to do with us, it's a licensing problem. We go to licensing and licensing say we can't do anything because it's not licensed in our borough. We just feel absolutely abandoned.
So these are, let me get this right, driver, these are uninsured drivers coming in from out of town, picking up jobs when they shouldn't be doing. They bring a job into town, a person into town, and then they're getting more jobs while they're here. Is that what's happening?
Correct to some degree. I wouldn't say they're not all uninsured, but there has been a case locally. We're just trying to find out the details of that, which would be a massive problem for them. But we've had drivers with wrong badges when people have checked on them. You know, the badge to show is nothing like the driver. It's just we've got no support. I mean, years ago, Blackpool, you know, when I've been to trade meetings, it was an ideal blue point for other boroughs to follow. But the last 8 years, is it Mark, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
The last 8 years, it's just gone, it's gone really, really poor.
And what, so, you know, I'm running in the local elections, the general election, excuse me, for Reform UK. I'm the candidate for Blackpool South. And so what do you think that I could do to help the taxi drivers deal with this issue that you've got with these out-of-town drivers coming in?
Well, if we could force the police to come out more and take action when there's things going on and the licensing, but also the thing called intended use policy. I believe if that's attached to people's operator's licence.
Intended use?
Intended use.
Yeah.
That means if one's licensed in Sefton, that means he intends to use that in Sefton.
Yeah.
So if he's over here 6 or 7 days a week, he's not obviously he's obviously got that under false pretences.
Right.
intended use, we can do something about it.
What would you suggest, Dan?
Well, I think it really is a matter for the local council and for the licensing authorities. And it's not good enough to say there's nothing we can do, because there is always something that you can do.
Yeah.
And I just feel you may be giving up slightly too easily.
Here we go. Fighting talk. So what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is that, you say you go to the police, they say there's nothing we can do, then you say you go to the licensing authorities, they say there's nothing we can do. The answer has to be that the buck stops somewhere, so there is somebody who can do something about it. So when you have a new MP on Thursday week, you write to him so that you're one of the first letters in his in tray. And you say to him, you ask him a very simple question. You don't set out the grievance, you just ask him a simple question. Who is responsible for licensing out-of-town taxis in Blackpool?
Smashing, thank you for that.
That's interesting.
It's just a simple crunch question to which he must supply an answer.
Yeah. We can get the people who are, the stakeholders, if you like, together and discuss this about a way. I mean, other towns, I know that Howard Cox, he runs Fairfuel, and also he's the Reform candidate in London, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Howard Cox made great inways with the London cabbies and helped a lot with the Uber situation in the city. So we could get Howard we could get some advice from Howard. He also put a video out about the Blackpool cabbies. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so Howard Cox is a great guy to get connected to, and we can talk to Howard and get his advice about what he did in London and why the cabbies all support Howard. He's done a lot for the London city taxi drivers.
It's nice to know somebody's getting some help, because certainly not getting any up here.
Well, you've got my word on it, and I say that to you. I'll make sure that I fight the battle, good fight, that you need somebody in there that's willing to help these drivers, that understands the plight, really. CCabs, if I'm not right in saying, I mean, you've been around for a long time.
Oh, yes, about 80 years or so.
Well, there you are, you see. So 80 years here in Blackpool. How many drivers have you got on the firm?
Probably about 550, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
550 drivers, then you've got the admin and the staff. So, like, these people are all going to be relying on this company to continue to do as well as it always has, and the customers here. Now, I don't know whether you know this, but part of the business model of Uber, these big companies as well that come in and take over, is they subsidise the drivers as well, so they can compete and they can undercut all the locals. And this is happening all across the country. Subsidised drivers.
I've never yet had a good experience with Uber. I've tried 3 times in my life, once in Melbourne,
Right.
twice in London, and on every single occasion I was greeted with a complete amateur who couldn't find his way.
Yeah. And not also, so part of, I don't want to scare you any more than it already is bothering you, but part of the problem you've got as taxi drivers, local drivers, you've got Uber subsidising their journeys. So what happens is an Uber driver will charge £4 for a Saturday night. It might cost £6 in a taxi, but they'll get subsidised as well for that fare. And the idea behind that is to get rid of the competition, quite frankly.
Yeah.
It's a business model that they use. And they don't just use it here in Blackpool, they use it all across the world. And they also do it with food delivery as well. So a lot of people are complaining about this. Not only that, some of the drivers, they swap the licenses and things like that, don't they?
Yeah.
So you don't even know sometimes who the driver is. I would say to people, support your local taxi firm, because if you don't, then in 12 months' time you're not going to have a local taxi firm. And then what happens is they raise all the fares, then the prices go up, the subsidised fares go. And the idea behind it is, quite frankly, to steamroller all over the top of local businesses all the way across the UK. We need to do something about it.
Yeah, I just feel for the local drivers.
Same here.
Spend the money in Blackpool.
I've seen that at the games, yeah.
Sponsored netball teams, we sponsored kiddies, football teams. This year sponsored the first girls football team.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we do a lot of local sponsorship with, you know, local community. You know, netball teams, football teams,
Right.
dart teams, snooker teams. The list is endless. But obviously, I mean, I think the locals need probably a bit of educating on that, because if that business plan is correct, what you were saying, obviously all that sponsorship will just stop.
Yeah, oh yeah, and also those 500 drivers have got families, rent to pay, mortgages. I mean, it's a big loss. We can't let that go away. And what we want as residents, what I want as a resident, is a taxi firm, local taxi firm with drivers that I can trust and that I know are going to keep me family safe and me safe, quite frankly. And sometimes you're getting in cars with strangers, and you know, it's a bit worrying, isn't it?
It is indeed. Anyway, we're nearly there now. So
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
lucky that I got the job to pick you up. Thank you for your time.
I
No,
was
that's okay. And don't forget, Thursday morning, write to your MP. Friday morning, rather.
yeah.
Friday morning, write to your MP. You'll know who he is.
I'm expecting a few letters.
And rest assured there will be.
But as I say, just ask that crunch question.
The Savoy Hotel. Here's your close protection, Anne.
Yeah.
He's nice lad, all week.
Okay. I'm sure I don't need any close protection.
No, we just made sure you're alright, and that's all.
Are you okay there?
Yeah. Oh, long way down.
Thank you for using CCabs now. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck, you.
Good luck with
Yeah.
your phone.
Yeah, and we'll we'll make sure we get a chat, especially after Friday. We'll have a chat. I'll come and
Rest
see you.
assured the letters.
Take care.
Ready, Mark?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Lovely to meet you, Al.